So today's episode is just going to be a fun, simple one, ladies. We are going to say 10 things each that men want to say to women but are too scared to say. So I'm going to start. Disclaimer. Do not twist my words against me.
I feel like there's going to be so many
disclaimers. I know what I'm saying, and I will explain myself. Number 1. What up, people? It's your favorite podcast man back again with another one. My name is Michael Shonariwo.
And I'm Murray Koya.
And you are back on Menisms, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Glad to have you back. We see a lot of you guys have been enjoying the last few episodes we've had with some special guests, so we appreciate you guys for that. And if you haven't seen it, make sure you go back and check our episodes. And of course, make sure you subscribe to all our audio podcasts, all our audio platforms, Spotify, all of them. You know what it is. And of course, we come to start the show saying, how has your week been?
Well, it's been all right.
Sorry, that sounded very rehearsed. It's not like we've not seen each other just earlier today and all that's how your week is, but obviously even for you guys to just catch up. So how's your week been?
Yeah, it's been all right. I mean, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong or tell me if you can relate as well. I feel like I'm at the stage in my life where I'm really adulting. Like, I know we've been adulting for a minute, right? But it really feels like I'm adulting so much lately, and you know, it's a good and bad thing in the sense that, of course, it comes with a lot of fatigue, comes with a lot of, all that. But it's also letting me know that I can push myself to certain limits that I didn't think I could. There are certain times that you see yourself hustle and you look back and you're like, damn, that was me. And I think, it's a good and bad thing. But it's currently where I am right now, and I'm embracing it.
Fair. I don't know, just chilling, taking every day one day at a time. So okay. I guess that's adulting, but I guess that's normal. So that's what I said. For me, it's just been regular. I think for me, started some new businesses. To praise God, that went well. SOD experiences. If you need a beach booking, hit me up. You know how I am already. I'm a marketer. So look, if you want to plan a beach party, SOD experiences, hit me up. That's what I've been doing. So that's been going well. Praise God. Fourth quarter starting now, Abby. September starts fourth quarter, right? Or was it October? It's October that starts for October. So only 3 months in the quarter. Okay, so this is the second to the last month the third before quarter. I was thinking we're in Q4 already.
Q4 starts October.
So we're still in Q3.
Last month of Q3.
Q3 going well, though. End of Q3 going well. Thank God. So, I mean, apart from that, yeah, man. Lagos has been chill. I mean, I had a few weddings the last few weeks. So, I mean, it was fun going out, seeing my friends, seeing my people. And that's really like my club now, because I don't really go clubbing as much anymore. I'm saving myself for December because I feel like the adulting is more like I've gone out less this year. And when it's holiday period, that's when I'm going to really go out. And that's more of the adulting, because I already closed my mind for the year. Like, I'm going to be like all those men that you only see in December that go ham. After that, from January,
out again. Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually me. The only time you really see me go out is probably December. Other than that, I mean, very, very sparsely across the year.
It's not to say people aren't having fun or Lagos isn't fun, but like I said, we're trying to stack
it's
up.
It's a personal thing. Yeah, it's a personal thing. Would you say you have weekly routines? Because, I mean, I imagine just like me, I have some routines that give me an escape that, I look forward to either that day of the week or the time of the week. Just something that is a recurring thing that happens weekly that you just know is something you look forward to just get away from the whole...
I mean, I've started playing flag football again. So I said I'll play again. So I'm on a flag football team again. So we have that routine of practice on certain days, Wednesdays, Saturdays, then games on Sunday.
Right.
Usually play basketball on Mondays, Tuesdays. And then during the week, like going out wise is what friends say, but sports usually is like my routine after like a work day or something, or meetings, or if I have a booking, sports is usually like my routine to just get me out of stuff. Not really. What about you?
I got to realize that we've done this for 2 years plus. And I don't think I've ever actually talked about how athletic I am. I don't think I've ever talked about like how much I love sports, how much I play a lot of sports, So I used to do football twice a week. But of course, the body is telling. So now I can only do football once a week, right? So
30 plus.
26, please. So I do football once a week now. I do football on Tuesdays. But now I've also added lawn tennis back on there because I used to play lawn tennis a lot before. But for some reason, so I used to play at Square Club.
Oh, okay.
Before.
Yeah, I always see them when I go play basketball.
Yeah, so but for some reason, over time, my schedule with the Quick Club football thing, Quick Club tennis thing wasn't quite working. So, but I was able to find like another sport where I could
That's
play
the annoying thing about playing sports in Lagos, especially like when it's the timing.
The timing.
Because after work and there's traffic. So like,
see that.
It depends what area you're on now. That'll determine,
exactly.
Am I going to play today? Like this traffic.
Especially, so before, right, I would make sure, and I think it's about your routine at the time. So then I had a routine that was keeping me around the Quick Club. So when it's time to play, I'm just already nearby. So I just pop right in, do my thing, and then head home. Now, nothing is keeping me in that vicinity anymore. So when it's time to go, I'm thinking, bro, I'm going to enter all this traffic just for 10. And then after doing that once, twice, 3, 4 times, you're already like, yeah, I'm not going anymore, you know. So, and even times when I have to play football, sometimes I make sure I'm just closer to football so that when it's time, I'm not having to be in any kind of weird traffic.
Because I've not had my car. It's like, sometimes you take Uber. It's like, fair. I just sit in the car. But then it's like...
It's discouraging.
Going is not discouraging. It's the coming back home. Because after you played, sometimes you want to enter your car and go. Then if you're now sitting there waiting for Uber, you're like, what the hell? Like, my car is coming back soon, finally. Thank God. But it's like, I have actually had to adjust. Like, even me playing more in Ikoyi was because I didn't have my car, so I would walk. So it made me walk. Like, I'll walk to Ikoyi Club from Parkview. Okay. And that was actually good fit. It's not as long. See, walking in Lagos is actually not long in terms of places aren't as far as you think.
They aren't, actually.
It's just that the way you're walking in the environment with the traffic and everybody just there is like, it's not like London walking where...
I think it's also because we're so used to cars.
Yeah, that's the
walking culture is just non-existent.
People walk the bridge.
People people walk because one is intentional fitness. Of course, I'm not saying that there are no people who like walk daily, but there's no walking culture. Even people who use the public transports, right? You might walk from point A to point B because you're going to the next bus stop and stuff like that, or maybe from this stop is your location is not so far off, but there's no walking culture where I'm coming out of my house, I'm walking to where I'm going to. In UK, for example, you already kind of know that, okay, it's going to be a 25, 30 minutes walk. Okay, I already know that I'm walking. There's a walking culture, right? And so we don't have that walking culture here.
You go walking in this sun, that's sun.
So everything,
that's even me as I'm saying I'm walking, I know I'm sweating as per fitness.
Yeah. And the sun today in particular was
it's been at least it shows raining season is starting to drift away a bit. So
it's good. So I feel like this is just out of whatever we're discussing, but it's really important to find something that you do weekly, I would say, that is outside of your normal routine of being an adult. Because it's the little things like this that give you the escape. I tell you, when I play football, I literally feel like in those 2-3 hours that we're playing, I almost forget the things I'm going through. I'm in the zone of just playing. I forget, that there's one bill that's unpaid here, or there's one client that needs to be sorted out. I focus on that, right?
Well, it depends. I always say it depends on who you play with. But before we even go into that, let's have a drink even.
Yeah, we should. So it's important for us, I say, to just find, and this is me, not even just for men, but everybody, men, women, find something you do weekly, right? Doesn't even have to be sports. It could even be like you take 2 hours in a week and you just know you go to that special library just to read the books, you keep yourself with some history.
I'm not even laughing at the fact that you read, but I'm just like...
Yeah, it's something that people do. I know people who actually just, they don't have the luxury of always getting to just sit back and read. And when I say sit back and read, I mean like casual stuff that is outside of your norms.
The thing is, I like reading, but it's hard sometimes for me here because I get frustrated. Like, especially let's say you stay at home and read. If that part should just take light or do something, I just get irritated. Like, there's some days I'll just go to the beach myself. Like, if I do a beach day myself or I go with somebody, I can do it. But like you said, when you said library, I'm like, where would there be a library? But there is a library.
There are libraries. Even in Lekki here, there's one in VI.
There's one in that's where Landmark used to be. There's a library there that sells books. So I know they're there, but like you said, find something.
Yeah,
like most guys in sports, but like I said, I hate playing sports here sometimes just because guys come with all their frustration from the week.
Right.
And when you're now playing, if you're somebody like me now, I am not playing sports for professional. I've passed that stage. I have lived the dream. I've gone to university. I've played pro. I'm okay. I'm 31. I'm here for cardio. So when
Fair
you
enough.
see guys come with that office stress, life stress, some people wife stress, children stress, that just come, the files are a lot harder, the arguments for the files, you have to find a good group of individuals. That is the key thing.
I think that's the key thing. And I think the people I play with, we've been playing together since 20. Well, I joined them because they were a group before me, and I joined them in 2016, right? And so, I mean, you guys, almost a decade that we've been playing together. So we're not like a family, like a core family.
Yeah, usually have, once you see guys over and over, it's like
So it's I think that's why it's peaceful. So it's like I'm hanging with my guys, but we're also playing football together, so it makes it feel like we're all here to escape the madness of Lagos and even just adulthood as a whole, so yeah, I think it's important. Just find something. People always I even, in fact, sometimes when I talk to people, I try to find out what other people are doing to escape. Maybe I can add that to my list of things to also do, because what I got to find is that when I do these things, I feel very refreshed, even if it's just 2-3 hours. I feel very refreshed when I'm done, and I'm just like, okay, it would have been nice if I could do this like every other day, so that way I don't feel like all I'm doing is just adulting. So I think, but guys, let us know, like, what do you guys do for, escaping adulthood, Lagos, Nigeria, or wherever you're watching from? What do you guys do to actually escape, madness of, living?
So we're going to go into some of the questions now that you guys have sent. We appreciate you guys that are always sending. So first one, as Moira pours the drink. Black Mumbai. I've been in a relationship with this guy for 8 months now, plus talking stage. First time we ever met was online, and about 3 months after. Okay, guys, we said again, if you're going to send questions or comments, make sure we put punctuation, please. Let's try this again. I have been in a relationship with this guy for 8 months now. The first time we ever met was online, and it was about 3 months after we started talking. We then saw physically, and then things clicked off fast. Fast forward now to the 8th month. I'm aware that in a relationship, both parties have to always work on each other and all growth. Hey. Oof. This person, if I mess up one more time, we're going to the next one. You know what? That's it. Yeah, in fact, that's even the new rule. From now on, if you're not putting the right punctuation and everything, we're going to skip your question. We love you, but it's now going to make us look bad as we're reading it now. People think we can't read. So, let's try one more time. So, fast forward now, I am aware that in a relationship, both parties have to always work on each other and all. But all these flags are just too red, or maybe not. So here's the thing. This guy is very rough and lackadaisical. There's hardly a time I go to his apartment and I don't perceive a weird smell, or the rooms and kitchen are in chaos. Then he's fond of getting me things and using them first before he gives them to me.
Wait. Can we pause there for a second? Fond of getting me things and using them?
Yeah.
It's crazy. We'll get to that. Okay.
Like the other day, I talked about how my plan for the day was to get a sound system. He told me not to buy it, that he'll get one for me. He got it, used it for about a week before giving it to me finally. I got this for you, in his words. Other times, he buys me takeaway while I'm doing my evening practice. Then wait till I eat so he can have his own share of that plate. Even sexually, he's thinking about how to get down, whether I'm tired or not, in the mood or not. I barely ask for anything from him. I pretty much make enough to settle my bills. But each time I talk about my needs indirectly, he'll act sympathetic and won't bat an eyelid until I say, "Can you please get this for me?" Which I barely say. To mention a few, because typing now makes me remember quite a number of scenarios, and I think it's too much of a question already. So what can I do? Okay, so what we're going to quickly start is, again, madam, if you guys are sending questions or comments, try and shorten them, try and make sure they're punctuated so we can read them. Second thing is, you need to raise your standards, sweetheart. I feel like you know the answer. Some of you guys send us comments and questions that you know the answer to, so to me, I feel like you know the answer. I feel like you want better for yourself, or you have a certain standard that's better for yourself. So you need to look in the mirror and decide decide what you want. I'm not criticizing the guy. I don't know the guy. He might be a good guy. Might have his flaws. All of us guys have our flaws. But if that's not your standard, then hey.
Yeah, I'll just say, I just have one thing to say though. I'm sorry, but if you're gonna get something for someone, then get it for them.
That's
not get it for them. Use it for about a week. What are we talking about, bro? And then still further or proceed to say, I got this for you. I'm sorry, but I can't wrap my head around that.
No, like, here, but let me use it first.
Like, she needed speakers.
That's something you do to your younger siblings.
I even understand you get her speakers. She's using the speakers. Then one day, like, oh, can I borrow your speaker? That's even normal to me, right? That's even like, okay.
But if I buy it,
but
use
you buy it, you launch it.
Oh yeah, take this second hand.
You buy it, you launch it. Oh yeah, I got this for you. Anyways, you know what? It's but yeah, like he said, I think do better for yourself. You know what you want. And he's clearly, further away from what you would like to have as a person or as a man in your life. So maybe, do better for yourself. All right. So the next one is Michael's baby bro. That's interesting. You already have a baby brother.
I have two at home.
Off the pod.
I guess this one is claiming to.
All right. Hi guys, love the pod. Can't wait to see y'all have a live show in Lagos very soon. Keep you guys posted. Here's my dilemma. My ex has refused to let me go. A little backstory. I worked in the US for a bit and my manager fell in love with me. She's 28 and I'm 23. She's been so toxic to me and yells and stalks me. She doesn't even trust me. I tried liking her, but it was too toxic. So I came back to Nige from my NYC and I broke up with her and ghosted. She didn't do well with the breakup. She wasn't mentally stable and suicidal. So she begged me to come and just to be a friend to her. I agreed and we got talking and she's in a better place. Now she's asking me questions like, what are we? God. And when are we going to be serious with each other? And I've let her know on multiple occasions that I don't want to do anything with her. What should I do?
Run, nigga. Run.
There's actually no other way to address that than just...
And she's older than you?
Remove yourself from that
situation. And she's American? Run.
You need to remove yourself from that situation.
They've already said the red flag. That's how we start. So I need a friend. You are the one that said it. She's mentally unstable. I'm not judging her again. I'm going by what you are telling me. Okay.
Suicidal? Okay. You want to have that over your shoulders?
Okay. You're Nigerian at the end of the day.
Hey, you want to have that over your shoulders, but no.
Next one, very demure. First off, all of you are Raz that have been doing that.
Extremely.
You're Raz.
Extremely.
Yes. I don't even ever say that, but all of you, some people have been overdoing this demure rubbish. It's like, guys, behave.
It's just the same thing with diabolical. Like, let's take a break on those days, okay?
Oh yeah. Next one, Sha. Again, but we appreciate you, all of you doing it. Last one, very demure girl. Hey guys, I love your podcast. It's been really getting me through my studying because I can't study in silence. Very funny, very entertaining. Thank you. My question is this. Have you guys ever dated or had a thing with a Muslim girl before, or rather, would you ever? There's a guy who I'm in a situationship with and I really like him and he likes me too. We have this crazy connection like from day one. When we first met, it was like magic. However, I'm Muslim and he is Christian. He asked me to be his girlfriend the other day and I told him I had to think about it. I'm hesitant because I don't know if it's going to work out and I'm scared of getting into a relationship just to break up. But at the same time, I really like him, and after all the shit I've seen from men, he's the first guy I have met in a really long time that actually treats me right. For context, I'm 21 and he is 30.
I think what I'll say about this is, to be honest, it comes down to you and your personality. And why I say that is that one of the reasons why this is a problem for us, the inter-religion relationships or even inter-ethnic relationships, is that, one, we're thinking a lot more about what the people around us will say before we as the people. And so a lot of times your decisions are kind of, driven by, oh, my dad will not accept this, we're not the same religion, my mom will not accept, or people around me will say, oh, how can you marry him, he's Christian, you're Muslim. Now, obviously for her to have entertained him to the point where she's seen how she feels towards him, he treats her well, blah, 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 is that she's seen beyond the religion. And she believes that religion has nothing, to do with the dynamics of the relationship. Now, the problem here is most likely that how are her people going to take it? For me, And again, I guess maybe that's just my own thing. I usually like to dissociate myself from whatever people have to say or think about my own personal happiness or things I enjoy or I'm enjoying to do or I enjoy doing or who I'm enjoying doing something with. So if at that point I've already decided that I want to be with this person, regardless of our differences in religion, we fundamentally think about things the same way. Of course, I'm sure they've discussed religion between themselves and said, okay, how are we going to handle this? Is this going to be a problem for us? And maybe it's a case of, oh, no, you're a Muslim, keep being your Muslim. I'm a Christian, I'll keep being my Christian. We have no issues with that. If that works for both of you, I'm sorry, but whatever people have to say or think about your relationship should stop being your deciding factor.
But
Because I think that's the reason why this question is a
I don't
thing.
think that's the main issue, though. I mean, as
What do you
much
think the
as
main
this
issue
is
is?
the age difference, also, like she slipped that in there just casually, but I'm sure that's obviously the
But I don't
main.
think that's her issue, though.
No, it's also her issue now. She's gonna see it's both of their, because to him it won't be an issue. He's 30. At that age, he doesn't care, especially if you're a Nigerian man that's here. You're like, that's I can do whatever I like. Her, there's already the pressure of her being Muslim, like you said, but then her being 21 and Muslim, she already probably doesn't have as much freedom in terms of freedom for what she has to say, because she's still probably under the guidance of her parents or still under her parents' roof. So there's that factor to consider too, because it's not like 21 in Nigeria is the same as 21 abroad.
Well, agreed. Okay, so I mean, if you're going to go in that direction or that angle, then I mean, it's a lot more to do with what can she do or what should she
Because
do?
Loki,
Because
or you're actually, sorry, to come back to the point. Now, if he was 30, if she was 21 Muslim and he was 30 Muslim, you never know. The parents, that's why I said they might not be pressure, because let's say she wants to be serious, she would have to introduce him to the family. They might allow it. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying they might, especially because he's Muslim now.
Okay.
And a lot of times you see that happening in the Islamic community. And again, if I'm wrong, tell me. But then, because already there's a religious difference now,
Okay.
and there's already the age too. There's two factors already that you have against you now to go to your parents and say.
Well, I see what you mean. So if they had, they are a lot more likely to work out if
Like
your
the
same
red flag
religion.
now, if the red flag was just he's 30 but he's Muslim,
Right,
there's a way
exactly.
she could validate it to the family, especially because he's Muslim.
Right.
But the fact that he's Christian and now 30 on top is like two.
Well, yeah, okay, I see what you mean, and I think everything we're saying basically sounds like she should just maybe take a few steps back and reevaluate on how she's going to navigate
I'll say,
that.
unless she wants to just make it for herself. Most people, if you just want to make the decision for yourself and not worry about your family, then and you know you'll be happy. Like
Exactly.
the key thing she said here was he treats me right and better than
all the other guys.
I can't argue with you there.
Which is why I said that, if you cut out all the surrounding factors, if the happiness actually is what you want and it's from him, for me, I'll say go with it. I mean, if things don't work out in the long run, then I guess they don't. But one thing I've tried to not do with life moving forward is having to deprive myself of the things I want because other people or the culture, in quotes, doesn't want it for me, right? Especially if you're not exactly breaking rules. Because the rules we have around these things are just customs that they've not even really told you why a Christian and a Muslim can't coexist or can't marry. And you've seen a lot of, interreligious marriages work out. Dad is Muslim, mom's Christian, and then everybody's fine.
Not all the time.
No, I'm saying you've seen a lot of them. I didn't say it was all the time. You've seen a lot of them, right? And you've seen a lot of them. In fact, the times that they don't work out is mostly because they didn't even discuss it between themselves, how the differences between their religion may affect their relationship moving forward. And that's the only thing. If you guys sit down, you discuss that and say, okay, you know what, so in my religion, we practice the practice. I hope that's not going to be a problem for you. Okay, in your religion, you guys practice this. I know that I'm already okay with it. You discuss it. If everybody's fine with it, then you guys move on. If your religion is the reason why you guys can't work out based on the fact that you sit down and you discuss it, and one person says, oh, you guys do that, to be honest, I don't know how I feel about that. I have my reservations. Okay, then you know that at least you had the discussion, and that's why you guys couldn't work out. But if it's because other people will talk, I'm sorry, but for me, I never think that's enough reason. So I think she should just decide on what is making her say, or what is making her undecided. If she then figures out that it's her personal decision that she wants to use to move forward, then I mean, she should go with that. I think that's what it is.
So with that, thank you guys. We're gonna keep it going, but I think you had a message from Chivas, since we always have their drink with us and they were supporting us.
Yeah. So today's Chivas one would even just be something I would personally touch on, and I think that has a lot to do with so have you had scenarios where because a lot of the Shiva stuff has to do with how we are actually building ourselves as a community and stuff like that. Have you ever had scenarios where you had people that, okay, so you know how you have friends that you grew up with, but over time you guys kind of fall apart, you make new friends, do all that stuff. And then when you get to a certain point where you have an opportunity that's meant to present itself, but maybe that person is the one that is calling the shots, right? Would you say that you expect the person to, by virtue of the previous relationship you guys had, to just be like, yeah, he's my guy, I know him, let him through that door, or no, not let him through that door, like you've not, shown that you can actually deliver, but he should give you that, we have a relationship here, I'm your brother in quotes, we have, we grew up together, we might have fallen apart after a while, not because anything happened between you guys, but just life. Would you say that you want that person to, have you in their interest, like, okay, that's my guy? Or would you still expect that he just be very objective and be like, I mean, I don't really know him, it's going to be a... How would you feel if he does the, I don't really know him, we were friends a long time ago, but he's a stranger to me now, as opposed to, because I mean, think about it. Let's say, maybe I should make it a little more specific, right? Say you have a friend that you've known since maybe you were like from like the ages of 6 up until about 15, 16, right? And then you guys kind of drifted apart. Maybe he went to school somewhere, you went to school somewhere and everything. And then now you're back in the workspace and, for some reason you guys are having something that's bringing you guys together. But don't forget that you've had like a ton of years where you guys just don't know anything about each other. So would you then say that, they ask him, oh, do you know this person? I'm like, well, to be honest, I can't say I know him.
No. If I had a genuine, that's what I said for me, if I had a genuine relationship with the person, of course I'll claim you. Now, it doesn't mean you get the job immediately. Like, I need to know what you do if you're qualified for it, but I'll never deny you. Like, if I knew you and I actually fucked with you, then I will never deny you, no matter how old. I still have friends from when I was a kid from America that I just happened to reconnect with in America when I went last year. Hadn't seen them since, but it's like I remember the times I grew up with them. So it's just to now update each other. Like, how's life been? Okay, let me know about your updates. Let me let you know about my updates. And a lot of them obviously know about my updates because I'm more online and social media. So I'll never do that. And like I said, if you have the right qualifications for the job, that's what will make it even better. The fact that, okay, I remember I grew up with you. Oh, and you do this? Okay, at least I can always hit you up if you do this thing. But to just deny somebody entirely, like you don't know them and all that's like, obviously I get their boundaries and limits.
I was about to say that.
And that's, but you said if you grew up and actually had a relationship, like there's some people now, if you said the example, okay, I met them 2 years ago and we saw each other once in a while and that's it. We've not seen each other since and we now go and see each other again. That's different because there's no relationship. But somebody I grew up with from 7 to 16. No.
So let me also explain that there's sometimes it could be a defense mechanism. Because you do have cases where the person you thought you knew, people, you're actually kind of missing out on the most formative parts of the person's life. Because beyond that 16, 17 age is where the person really grows their character to become who they will be moving forward. If they're going to be someone who's dubious, it's at that point that they start to groom that. It's at that point where they start to be someone who is sincere, somebody who's hardworking, somebody who has good ethics. So, and a lot of that you've missed out on, right? A lot of people might do stuff like that or deny you, like you said, partially because they've experienced scenarios where somebody they thought they knew, they gave them leverage. Like, oh, I know that guy, no, he's my guy. He can't have known him since we were kids. But you've never really known him through that core part of his adulthood life. And so then you've put him in a position where, your name might get stained if anything happens, but you're not even thinking about that.
No, but then that's why I said you're going to, even before that, you're going to do your research. Like, okay, if I knew you since then, oh, okay, there's an advantage you have. But that's why I said I have to know what you do and if you're still qualified for it. Like, I'm not just going to give it to you, because I know you, but what do you do? Okay, it sounds like you know how to do this. Right. Do you have examples of your work? Like, because I know, like, for me now, there's certain things that are in my field of expertise that I already have a standard for, whether I know you or not. If you happen to meet those standards, I can give you a chance. If you do well on that chance, good on you. If you mess up on that chance now, I can't help you again. You get, not in a bad way, I can't help you again. It's just that I've done my part.
Yeah, of course. But I was even talking from the angle of, let's say he can deliver skills wise, he has the skill set. But I'm saying, okay, let me just further push the scenario. And so, you know, you've screened, you've done everything, you've done your research. He's good at the job. He delivers, exquisitely. And so you get him on board. Then they realize that 6 months in, he's telling your boss, maybe he's working at a level lower than you. He's telling your boss that, I can actually do the job that this guy is doing. And I've seen that there are some places that he's falling short. I can actually, take up on that role. Basically, he's sabotaging you. This has nothing to do with his skill set. He's good at what he does, right? But you didn't know that there's that character trait in him. Of course, see, at the time when you also knew him, you didn't know that part of him because maybe even that part of him didn't even need to show.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's been in the competitive adult world. He's grown certain gritty
you call
characteristics.
it that. I mean, that's different. Then you attack it.
And I'm saying that some people have already experienced that to the point that when that opportunity presents itself again, they're like, hey, I don't know this person. We had a bit of a time together in high school and this, but I don't know him. So it might come off as denial, but at the same time, it's also you saving your skin in the sense that, and you know the way it works in a lot of commercial spaces or just workspaces generally, if you even just show any kind of affiliation to someone, any small thing that happens, they'll tell you like, that your guy. Even though you've even, said the thing straight that
I think then
you didn't
it
know him,
just,
so.
like I said, it still comes down to just getting to know the individual and trusting your intuition. Like, okay, should I recommend them? Because it can happen with anybody. So is it like now for the rest of your life, are you never going to recommend anybody?
Agreed.
Things like that. So
Yeah.
it's still a risk either way. So you have to just be smart enough and wise enough that it's like, okay, even if I knew you from then, do I trust you enough to do it? It's not everybody that you grew up with you're going to give an opportunity. But obviously, if I knew you have an advantage, the question still comes down to, are you qualified enough? And do I trust my inner self to give you that opportunity? If not, like there are people now I can easily call for certain jobs, but I'm not calling them because I'm like, I don't feel you'll meet the standard of what I'm looking for. Not that you can't do it, is a standard I'm looking for. And vice versa. There's some people that call me for work too that I've known for a while. Some people that don't call me because like, hey, maybe you're not. Everybody's own case is different. But
Agreed.
I do get what you mean though in terms of that.
Yeah,
but
I think in my opinion, if I was going to handle stuff like that, it is tricky. Like you said, I can't see my guy that I've known for a long time, especially if we have good childhood memories together and just say, I don't know this guy, right? But at the same time, I guess also seeing how people can do people dirty, I'll be like, look, I know him, but I knew him in the time when we were just kids. I can't really vouch for his character traits. I can say that I've done my research and he does well, but is it true? You have to drop that disclaimer, bro. Because, some people be doing some weird shit and you're like, wait, what? What is this? Like, what are you doing? But it still comes down to everything to do. I rise, you rise, because in the end, we're looking out for our people and making sure that at any point we have the power or, privilege to pull our people up as well, regardless of if we've been brothers for years or we just met 2 days ago, as any opportunity we have to just make sure that the next person can just, grow higher, we just do that. So again, from our people at Shivas, it's arise, you
shout
rise.
out to you.
And so yes.
All right, so for today's topic, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. We were talking about certain things that men talk about behind closed doors and sometimes want to say to women, but they're low-key afraid to say because we know in this society, you say the wrong thing to a woman now. There's internet. There's so many things that are going against you, but obviously we say them with love. So today's episode is just going to be a fun, simple one, ladies. We are going to say 10 things each that men want to say to women but are too scared to say. So I'm going to start. Disclaimer. Do not twist my words against me.
I feel like there's going to be so
I
many
know
disclaimers.
what I'm saying, and I will explain myself. Number 1. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Sometimes I just want you to sit there and chill. Sometimes I just want you to sit there
Explain
and
yourself
chill.
to the person.
Let me explain.
Okay, good.
I feel like some women don't understand. If a guy really let me give you a secret, lady. A guy that really likes you can be in the same room with you. Not disturb you. As per you do your thing, I do my thing, right? But I'm glad your presence is there. Some women don't understand that. There are a lot of women that do, but some women don't understand that they still want that attention or they're disturbing you or give me attention and all now. Sometimes, sweethearts, I don't want to. But I like
Honestly.
that you are here. Trust me, I'm very happy. And because you are, and let's say you give me that day that you just sit there, the next day is your day. The next day is your day. Whatever you want to do, fine, because you sat there with me. But some people don't understand that you want constant attention, and that's why that man is running away from you and is not settling down with you, because you don't understand that small aspect of sit down there and chill.
Fair enough. I definitely see that one. I see that.
You understand?
Yeah, and I think I can, of course, I can relate to it on so many levels. Especially, you know what? Actually, I'll let that sizzle in, and I think for me, I would just say my own. Let me just say my own.
Say your own
Number one as well. For me, my number one is I get it that we sometimes need to be grown, right? But let me be a kid sometimes. Allow me tap into the things that just make me feel like I don't have to worry.
So explain,
about
what
this.
do you mean allow me to be a kid?
I'll get into it. So say for example, so I for one like to watch cartoons a lot, right? A lot, like a whole lot. And I mean, of course, I also met people who like to watch cartoons as adults, but there's still that general cartoons are for children. And I'm just like, huh? But you see, for me, it's a lot less to do with, and I watch any kind, of course, there's some cartoons I won't really find appealing, but I watch it because it reminds me that in this moment, at this time that I'm watching this, I'm not having to be worried about, because, okay, let me give more context before I even say what I want to say. If I'm watching a more serious show, let's say Game of Thrones, right? I'll just use that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Game of Thrones is an entertaining show, but at the same time, it's giving you footage of aspects of your actual life.
Yeah.
Especially in times when there are people you have to defeat to move to the next level. There's somebody you have to betray so that you can get this favor. Somebody has to betray you so they can get it. Just stuff you have to be extra vigilant. People you call friends, they're not really your friends. Things that I'm daily battling, right? And so
you don't want to watch a program that reminds you of that, but a program that takes you to your fantasies.
And as much as these are entertaining, I find that half the time I can't even finish that show because I'm like, bro, I'm stressed already. Like, I'm stressed on this guy's behalf because I can relate. And so I want to not have to relate to anything. I just want to be watching something mindlessly. That's how a child is. They watch cartoons mindlessly. They're not watching it.
I think mine is video games for
exactly
my reality. I can't, because my cartoon, I don't really watch apart from anime, but I don't.
Yeah.
Anime is not cartoons.
Yeah,
so
it's two different
video
genres.
games for me is like, let me play when you see me, keep quiet or ask questions on how do you play. Don't disturb me.
Or
so
don't say you play games too much. Or
no,
because again, it's still
it's an escape.
It's an escape.
It's an escape.
Right. And it would be nice if they understand the concept of
I just tell girls
this.
If I'm dating you and I'm like, would you rather me playing video games or be out in the clubs? It's very simple. Would you want me in the clubs?
Or why do I have to pick? I choose none.
Oh, you choose none? You're very stupid. Because, okay, if that's the case now, that means I have to go and do another thing.
Something else, escape. So yeah, but I think that's my number one. Allow me be a kid sometimes. Let me embrace moments where I don't have to be an adult without feeling like I should be. Because
that's true.
Exactly.
We're going to just do 10 in total.
Okay,
10,
exactly.
10 is long.
Okay, yeah.
So that's
10
two.
Okay.
All right, number 3. I really don't give a fuck. Like, I think sometimes women think we care about certain things where it's just like we actually don't. It's like, for example, you see all these topics about women and dating and all that we talk about. I really don't give a fuck what we leave here or certain, because some women, like, I know for me especially, is a niche I've built, at least outside of Menisms, with obviously all the other stuff I've done and talked about. But I really don't give a fuck to have a conversation in the middle of the street about, oh, what do you think about men in this? No. Like one girl the other day at a wedding came to come and fight me. And I'm like, woman, if you really knew how much I don't care, because she's like, I saw what you say about girls and this, and I just want to say that this is my opinion. I don't care. Like, not in a rude way. Like, respect to, I'm glad I told her, I said, I'm glad you watch it, but I will never go and have this fight outside. And even when I'm sitting down with you watching your YouTube shows about all these celebs and women celebs, I don't care. I'm watching you because of you. I like you. The fact that I like you means I want to make sure you're happy, so I'll watch what you watch. But don't think I'm going to have in-depth debates about this thing, because I really don't give a fuck. Number 3.
Agreed. So I think my next one would be, there's nothing wrong with having 2 different kinds of love languages. And this is not even like just relationship-wise, even across board. Because sometimes when you have friends who love to give gifts, right, but you're not a gift giver, then they make you feel like you not being a gift giver is a bad thing, as opposed to embracing that we're just 2 different people. And my way of expressing love is a very different way from you expressing love, right? It's something that I've always had to struggle
I don't know if I can
with.
agree to that one though. Just because girls made me understand, like we can't just be saying, "Oh, that's my way."
No. So I understand that it's one thing to say, I see he's working on it. He's putting in effort to do things the way I would like to receive love, right? Mm-hmm. But it's another thing to also say that I met him a certain way. But that way I met him, he must remove it and be the way I want him to be. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. So say, for example, I am someone who my way of showing love is maybe physical touch, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you're not really a touchy person, but you like words of affirmation. I've never really been the kind of person to really shower anyone with words, let's just say, right? But then you always complain that I'm not showering you with words. Even though I'm showing you love by always, just wanting to color you, touch you, just play with your hair. But to you, those are not the ways you like to receive love. Mm-hmm. And so now, because it's not the way you like to receive love, you are... Okay, that just threw me off a little bit. Because I'm going to come back. We're going to cut that out. Okay. So because it's not the way you like to receive love, now you feel like my physical touch is not enough. Not saying that I haven't identified that you like words of affirmation and I'm working towards it, but accept and understand first that we're different people. I am a physical touch person. Mm-hmm. You are a words of affirmation person. Let's establish that. A lot of people don't like to. A lot of people just believe that, what do you mean that this is the normal way? There's no such thing as a normal way to show love. I think that's where I'm coming from with this. And I get that a lot when, it's something to do with the balance of... Let's even forget about the gift giving. It could be something else. Let it be that they're the ones who, do words of affirmation while I'm a gift giver. Mm-hmm. And the way they show love is they would always say, "Oh, you look so good, you look so this." But then when they dress up, I might not use my words. I might not say, "Oh, you look so this and you're this," but I might just say, "You know what? I saw you look good in this. I thought you should add this to your collection. I bought you these shoes." Mm-hmm. That's my way of showing love. But you're having a problem with the fact that I didn't tell you that you looked good.
Yeah, so see the difference? Why not tell her?
No, I'm saying, you have to accept that he's going to grow into it. But you can't, if it's something I spend my whole life not doing, I'm not going to suddenly be the guy who's going to tell you.
If you like the girl, you go adjust to.
Adjusting takes time. And that's what I'm talking about.
How long do you want her to wait? 2 years? 1 year? 4 years?
2 years, really, bro.
How long? Okay, so how long then?
To be honest, I think it's usually like a max of 2 months. 3 months at the most, because I think that's time when you guys are getting to know each other, getting to see how this person likes this. But yeah, 2 years, I mean, come on, that's crazy. But I still feel like that's something people just need to accept, that first of all, this person is different from me, and then take things from there. As opposed to, okay, well, he was different when we were single. Now we're dating, he must be, do you understand? He must be on the same frequency as me, as opposed to, I'm still that different person. I'm not going to, there's no switch that will suddenly flip because we're now friends or because we're now partners.
Actually, it does.
There's a
every guy is different, man. Like, at least I can only speak for myself again. Okay. That, like, I know for me, if I really like you, like, I don't even be noticing how I'll be switching up so quick. Like, the things you like
agreed.
I'll be. And so that's why I said, like, I don't really put a time frame. That's how I know if I like you. Like, if I don't like you, then I'm chilling. if you like, say do this, okay. If I like you, it's probably hard that I would have even said, you've started doing this thing or something.
So if I go by your standards or your example now, I can easily also say that she's complaining that I play games too much. And so now I didn't even know when I just stopped playing games.
That's her problem.
Oh.
No, but I'm not. You see, I'm not stressing about. It's not a stressful thing. It's just if I like you, I'll change.
Okay.
If I don't like you, then I'm not changing, and it means you need to get the clue.
So it means that if you like someone, you would stop playing games for the person because they have a problem with you playing games.
I don't really. That's the thing. Even this whole playing games, I feel like that's probably my next point. If you are a grown ass woman talking about a man playing games, then sweetheart, you need to evaluate some things.
So we're saying the same thing.
I didn't say that. No, you are saying
we're
that.
saying the same thing.
I didn't say that.
Nah, so you see, so if I was going to go with your words,
I didn't say that.
Wait now. If I was going to go with your words, let me tell you what I'll say. With your words, I would easily say, you don't like the person.
I did. You see,
you don't like the. Can you see?
You see, you're interpreting. All I'm saying is, if you're a certain age and you're talking about he's playing games, then you too, you need to analyze your taste in men, because vice versa. No, vice versa. As a guy too, if I'm talking about a girl is still playing games, I need to analyze my taste in women, because I know how I used to be with certain girls. I'm like, she's playing games. At my big age, I'm still saying you're playing games instead of just deciphering what I want.
Fair enough.
Picking the right kind of woman I want. So that's what I'm saying for women. If you're saying that, so that's my point.
Good. Okay, fair enough.
But again, I do understand where you're coming. I just feel like, guys, we know when we like a babe. You, like you say, you really, have you not gone to your guy to that to say to each other, I don't even realize when I started doing this thing. Like,
I think one thing that I would say that is something that, of course, I can't speak for every single guy, but I think it's something we all randomly at some point think about, is something to do with the gray lines with our, in quotes, gender roles, right? And let me explain what I mean by that.
So is this another point of yours?
Yes.
On 5?
Yes, or 5.
Okay.
Well, 6, actually.
6, so, sorry. Yeah. So what's your point?
So my point is, there's always something we want to say about the differences in what I would call gender roles, right? And let me explain what I mean by that. So naturally, we'll all still have been raised a certain way to know that if a car tire is flat, it's the guy that's changing it. You know, if there's anything to do with cooking, it's the woman that does it. But it's not exclusive to those two genders. There are times when she's tired, I cook. There are times when I'm tired, maybe she wants to help with something I would normally do. Maybe he wants to change a light bulb. So my point is, it still doesn't take away from the fact that we do like it when, you know, the person who is better at that thing does the thing, you know, but understand that I would come through for you because now we have so many things that have to do with, I can't be a woman that would also cook and clean and blah. And that's appreciative.
What did you say?
No, you know how right now lots of podcasts talk about I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I go to work, I still come back, I still take care of the kids. We need to debunk the fact that this is not how all men operate. I'm sick and tired of always seeing that, you know, men just want you to be in the kitchen while they... I've seen so many podcasts that always try to say that, you know, women have their roles, men have their roles. I don't believe it's true. And I feel like a lot of guys also want to say that is not true. Okay. If you're tired, you come back from work. We're both adults. We're both working, I imagine, right? If you come back and you're tired, I'm like, okay, who's doing kitchen duties today? Is it me? Is it you? If you're tired, I get in the kitchen. Okay, what are we prepping today? I do the cooking. It's just that simple. But I feel like, you know, we're also still trying to... A lot of guys still don't want to come off as, oh, I'm not masculine enough. Please, cut it off. Like, because there are some guys too that want to embrace the fact that it's not about masculinity. It's about the fact that I love this person, regardless of either my partner, my sibling, my whatever. I love this person, and it's not a role thing that they have to do it instead of me. It's whoever in the moment.
So you basically are saying you don't... Your point is you don't care for gender roles.
The norms, exactly. The norms that, you know, come with gender roles. And I feel like a lot of guys also want to...
But wait, are you scared to say that to women? No, that's the point. Are you scared to say that to women, though?
No. I'm saying that some guys are afraid to point out that is how they feel, because we live in a toxic masculine environment.
Okay.
And so in that toxic masculine environment, you say that amongst the guys, they're looking at you like, what are you talking about? As a man, you're supposed to, what do you mean as a man? So you end up being the minority voice, because you're the one out of maybe 10 guys that feels that, well, if my wife is tired, I'll cook for her. Whereas they feel like, if I get to my wife, go don't cook for me, you get food. So my point now is a lot of guys want to say this, right? It doesn't have to be that they want to say this to the woman, but they want to have that voiced out. Right. And so because they don't get to say this, women just believe that all men think like this. Like, I get home, there should be food prepared for me already. Fair. I must always eat fresh food. I don't want anything that's wrong. You know, all these kind of weird things you get. So I think that's for me, that's my
Another one I'll bring up is that I think men are scared to say is, I really don't want to sleep with you. In terms of a lot of women always talk
Ooh,
about men are
damn,
easy.
this is one. This is
Men
one.
want to just sleep with
Mm,
them or they just want to fuck them. It's like, no,
mm.
sweetheart, I really don't want to sleep with you. I'm not that attracted to you. And it's not to say you're not a pretty girl or no, but some women be overrating their attractiveness.
Or themselves as a whole.
Because again, for me, like my standard, like I say, even if I was single or something, my standard is not just by how you look to sleep with you. You get what I'm saying? And there are actually a lot more guys that have these standards than you think. Do not get me wrong. It's not to say that, oh, I am the hardest, but if you see fine body in front of me, obviously I go just be like, like I'll be like every man that will look. And it's not to say all men don't look, but all men don't want to touch. And that's why I feel like we always get that stigma thrown at us. Again, we are easy to tempt. I feel like that's what it is, because now women say, men are easy, man. It's easy to tempt a man. Very easy.
To be honest, I'll still disagree with that one a little bit, to be honest.
That one, see, when I say it's easy to tempt a man, it's not to say every man can fall for temptation. Because if he's naked body, he'll say yes. No.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, all of us men, if you put us in the fire now, it is very easy for one of us to break also compared to women. If you put a woman in a room with naked men now, for example, I'm not saying she won't have the same urges, but women at times have more. Exactly. So that's why I said I'll admit that. But it's not to say that every woman we're trying to sleep with every time we're doing this. Like, obviously, you have a lot of men that do that. And like I say, because there are probably more men that act that way, that's why that norm is carried upon. So it's just to remind women. My point is just to remind women that, again, not every guy wants to sleep with you, or at least there's a standard some guys have before we sleep with you. That's
a deep one, and I think I fully agree with that.
The facts.
I do agree with that.
Especially in Lagos. So
let me see. Let me try and think of another one that I would say.
Oh, I have another one. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you can front
I
for me.
have one on that. To be honest, men don't actually. We really, like, how do I explain it? I'm trying to word it in the right way, because it has to do with money. Whereby, like, if you just actually shut up about money, you will get spent on. If you shut up about money. So it's like, again, the topic is, I want you guys to understand, so you understand the concept of what we're saying. The topic is, what are things men are afraid to say to women? If you kept quiet about money, in terms of, you know how there's some guys like, hey, he has to spend on me, he has to do this. If you kept quiet,
it will just happen because I like you. I like you. I want to take care of you. So
I know what like, bachelor me, relationship me, there are times, you know what you spent. Like, you look at yourself some days like, did I just spend this? Like, bruh, I know how many times when we were single that we'll go out, we'll take some girls, just like meet some girls that day. You are spending. Mind you may never see that girl again, no. But because the vibes were good, she was kind and all that, you spent that shit. You get what I'm saying? And it's because again, it depends on you. Like, for me, if I spent like that, it's because she didn't mention money. She was cool. She was calm. And then obviously when you find a girl that you really care about, if she doesn't mention, you go spend without you even noticing. Because you probably even spend more in a relationship without noticing. So my point is just that, to the girls that always like to broke shame guys or talk about money, if you actually just kept your mouth shut sometimes, be the fine girl that you are. Trust me, that nigga go spend. But it's when you keep talking that these guys have opinions to say about you, because like I said, we're tired of hearing of it. And sometimes we know what you girls are. Some girls are doing it as a marketing push too. We're not stupid. You know, we know it's marketing. We know the game. But it's only if you don't want guy give me 2 million one time. It's marketing, because guess what? Now there'll be one guy say, sorry, sweetheart, DM. Sorry, sweetheart. I saw your post about the guy that said to him, please, here's DM.
Lol.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, again, it's not always, there's not, like, in fact, let me not beat this, but I just saw TikTok. One girl put and I can't lie, when I saw her, I was clapping, because for her, I know she could do. The thing is, because she's a baddie too. And I know her personally. Like, I know who she is. But she tweeted saying, like, when men know they mess up or want to do, I forgot the caption, but tweeted a photo of her. And you slide now, it's the conversation, the guy saying, oh, you blocked me on WhatsApp, you blocked me on everything. I've been trying to reach your friends and reach you. Oh, you're still not answering. Okay, I sent you 2M. and then she now slide. You see the receipt. Now, in me, there were 2 months. I was like, hey, the only thing I was like, hey, sweetheart, enjoy your money. Because she has not done, she didn't say nothing. Hey, he sent it on his own. So, sweetheart, enjoy. To me, the guy, I fool. Because now they spoiled the game. She said she doesn't want to talk to you. You've just given free money. Now, guess what? You think that's going to be the way forward. You send again. You're not going to be telling guys, hey, I sent her money now. I sent her. Some guys will be listening to you. Hey, and that's the way forward now. That's what we should do. You see how the pattern begins. But yeah. Well, yeah, your turn. I've said 2 now on it.
So let me see. I think also, again, maybe the way we termed it as things men are afraid to say, maybe it's not that we're afraid to say these things, but maybe just that saying these things do come with some backlash. One of them, I think, for me is it's also, we need them to understand that it's very, very, very possible to be a good-looking person, an attractive person, and decide to be single. You're not on streets. You're not single because you want to be on streets. I literally am just focusing on myself, or I'm just doing it. So every time, you'd have to deal with you're this fine, how can you be single? And then you're not pushing so many stereotypes on me because I've told you that I'm not seeing anyone, and to you it's already a lie because the last 5 people that told you that too were also lying. I think it's something that we need to just sit down and really just debunk, the idea that a man is just always trying to sleep with you. And I think you mentioned that earlier. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. When you mentioned, I was like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, it's really, because it was something I was also going to touch on. You can, come, you want us to hang out. And then most times I even like that you be the one to propose what kind of hangout so that it's comfortable for you, so you don't feel like I cornered you into anything.
I'm not really like, in a weird way, it's like, it's something I want to work on moving forward, but I'm not like a planner, but it's something I want to work on because like, I'm the kind of person like, even if my girl or somebody like plans the date in terms of there's this activity she's been wanting to do, I actually want to try it because I know it will take me out of my comfort zone, and I know I can amplify it to make the experience better. Because in the end, I don't mind paying for it, and I don't want it to just be like it's a financial thing. But even the experience of it, I know we would probably enjoy it more because it's new to me, something you've been wanting to do. And if I really like you, seeing you happy makes me happy. And vice versa. Like, don't get me wrong, there'll be experiences I want to do, but most of the experiences guys want to do are guy things. So it's like you really have to have a girl that likes you or likes what you like to expect. Like,
you know what, actually, buttress on that. What are guy things and what are like the non-guy things?
Okay, so for example, like if I tell, and again, it's not to say girls don't like it, but we're saying majority of like the stereotype. Like if I tell a girl, let's go to a football match, a basketball game,
it might not be her thing. Okay,
like don't say women don't watch these sports you get, but it's most times a guy thing. So it's
I'm saying, what's a non-guy thing that you think a guy may want to do if introduced?
Oh, that can be different. Like if you told me to go pottery class, if you told me to go hiking. This
is fascinating. Why is that not a guy thing?
No, again, it's majority. Okay, let's be real. Amongst your guys, how many guys have recommended pottery? Like, let's be real now.
Okay, I see the direction.
Oh yeah, let's go for arts.
Okay, so you mean just generally?
Oh yeah, let's go for brunch.
No, wait.
Let's go for dinner and lunch in the park.
Hold on, wait. You mean things that you would do either by yourself or with your guys?
I said your guy. What I just mentioned now, have any of your guys ever suggested any of those things?
So that's what I'm saying. So it's something that you... Lord, even the thought is killing me.
Exactly.
So you mean like things that guys won't just do with guys?
Let's go for a play. Things like that. Like, is women actually are the queens of enjoyment for a reason because
I think the enjoyment is not the word, versatility. I think it is.
I mean, I say enjoyment too because they enjoy past Lagos. But you get like if anything, it's most of the girls that will show you these new spots that you're like, where's this new spot? So
agreed.
That's why I said for me, I don't mind if she tells me, yo, there's this thing we should try. Let's do it because most guys, us two, we're comfortable in what we like. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of us now. I'm not saying we don't branch out, try new things, but we most times, if we like something, we like something. So you have to make sure you find a girl that also likes that. But yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, yeah, I mean, I think I agree. Let me definitely say most of the points that I can touch.
I had one more point even now that I was going to say. I just remembered it now. Things that guys are afraid to say to women now. Hey.
30 plus.
As in, it really was in my mind right now. Ah, you women are lucky. You know what? Take it for now. You're going to take what we have for now. Because it really was on the top of my head while you were just saying it now. And I honestly forgot it. And it was such a sweet one, you know. It was such a sweet one. Okay, then I've said what I said. Don't worry. If it comes back to me now, I'll say it. But I feel like we've said most of the things now. Like, again, most times, I feel like we said it. No, yeah, we said it actually. We said it. I'll say, like, to be honest, one thing I'll say to women is just don't be afraid. Don't put all your insecurities out on the guy. I think as we get older, like, we have to all make a conscious effort in our relationships towards the other gender. And it's something I've had to work on too, in terms of my relationships with women. It's had to change over the years. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's certain ways I used to be friends with girls that I even had to have some girls tell me, hey, you can't be doing that shit. You are going to sell dreams to her.
Right.
She's not going to see it this way. Or as I gotten older and I look back at some experiences and say, as I'm older now, I know if you do this same thing I used to do back then, because I already know the consequence of it. So it's like, I feel like we actually have to learn to be friends with the opposite gender. You get what I'm saying? And that's something I'll say to women, like, don't be afraid to learn how to be friends with a guy. Because it's not, but, and as I say that, I'm not saying it's on you, because it's really on us. Because it's the guys that don't have the self-control at times. You get what I'm saying? But obviously, my own is just to the women that probably take it to the extreme. Not the average woman, just the extreme women. But yeah, man. I mean, I think we'll all be good, though. Like I said, certain podcasts like ours, and I think we're trying to change that narrative, not to be toxic. It's more of just having honest conversations, because you have those podcasts, like you say, that are very toxic, that is attack. But it's like discussion-based podcasts like ours now. I feel like it helps everybody to just understand the perspective. You get what I'm saying? That's why even like with our episodes, when we have women, sometimes like you see how the conversation is a bit more because we actually are understanding, like, okay, it's not just from our opinions, like, okay, our opinion and seeing it in real life, how it applies to them, you know. But let us know what you guys think, you know. Comment below some of the things you think we missed out on, or maybe some points you want to add on to this conversation. And again, we'll always check them and we'll always read them here on Menisms. And, you know, again, shout out to all of you. Make sure you keep subscribing to our YouTube, to our audio platforms, and you'll see us each time. So I'm Michael Scenario.
And I'm Barwanka.
And we'll see you next time on Menisms.